Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how you will always have to test the spirits. You will always have to test the spirits. I don't care how long you've been friends with them. I know they got that dumbass saying about, oh, my A1s since day ones, and most of us know that day ones are not A1s. You know what I'm saying? So testing the spirit, you always gonna have to test the spirit, right? The easiest ways, especially for me, when I'm around and dealing with engaging with beings, testing the spirit, is something that my spirit naturally does, kind of like blinking. You don't have to tell yourself to blink in order to blink. You know what I mean? It's just going to naturally happen. And that's how it should be when it comes to testing these spirits, right? Because we out here in the middle of in the Western world, warfare. You know, I always specify Western world because it's not this disgusting everywhere you go. I know that it is not this disgusting. But with this being a thing as of right now, you know what I mean? Like, you have to test the spirits continuously. You're going to have to test your mom. You're going to have to test your dad. You're going to have to test your siblings. You're going to have to test your partner, your spouse, you know, male or female, whichever one you are, whatever field you in. You know what I mean? Like, to me, testing the spirits keeps me from allowing myself to feel bad or to feel guilty for how I respond to certain beings. And we also have to realize when we use the word respond is the main ingredient to responsibility. So when you're responding, you're taking responsibility for what you are getting ready to say. You are taking responsibility for your actions. You are well aware of everything on the highest frequency when you are responding. Reacting would be more so your energy and emotion responding first. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody hit you, your first instance might be to knock their head off. You know what I'm saying? To push them, slap them, anything, you know? But that's being more reactive. You know, somebody telling you like, oh, you ungrateful, and you know you're a grateful being. That's them trying to put you in a space to make you react versus being responsible, you know? Responding, responsibility. When you can be aware and know that you are responding versus reacting, even if your energy is really worked up in the inside, because a lot of us and a lot of people get fucked up because we all look like this, right? We all look like this, right? This our regular look. But you don't know what the fuck I got going on inside. You know what I'm saying? For the ones that's shitty with reading energy, for the ones that's fire with reading energy, and that's what they do, they already know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Most of them will come across and be like, oh, that's just that nigga regular expression, you know what I'm saying? But he a lit spirit, you know what I'm saying? And they can see that warrior in there, you know? But testing the spirit, the way you test the spirits, right? One subtle way that I did when I tested the spirit, and I had to test the spirit recently, right? Usually, when friends or peers hang out or do something, it's weird energy exchange. Usually they separate, right? Me, because I'm a teacher and I know I'm stronger than most of the beings that I'm around, I can be in that energy and still be grateful and still offer them a ride either with me to the store, out and about, to go run some errands, to do any of the above, even though I was just in that energy with them. I do that because it proves to me and it shows me how to slow my emotional reaction down. It helps me focus on my breathing. It helps me put all the other witchy shit over to the side and focus on the good team, because the witchy shit is here. The witchy shit is here. So whether I told the motherfucker to ride with me or not, or I rode with them or not, I still have to go to the stores. Where's witchy motherfuckers at? You know what I'm saying? It's still everywhere. So the best thing you can do is test these spirits in your most comfortable space, which I'm more comfortable being uncomfortable. So I guess that's kind of a weird statement for me. But one thing that I had did when I tested the spirit, right? You have to do things that So this test would be for beings who've been around beings for a while. You know what I mean? If you're used to a certain being responding a certain way or reacting a certain way, it's your job to make sure you're coming up with different tactics so you can master your energy and motion. So what I did recently during the test, after some weird energy exchange, I asked somebody if they wanted to, you know, just ride out with me, because I was going to go film and vibe. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do full time, you know, until I can transition up, and then we can start getting this land, building this community together, putting the whole tribe, everything all in one. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, I have to focus here. You know what I mean? So in my world, right, I just made a video on what I'm about to explain to y'all, and I also have to apply it. What happens with some of this stuff that the creator uses my vessel, so I don't always remember verbatim what's being said. Sometimes I have to go back and look to see what I even talked about. You know, I don't have anything written down before I get up here. I do a little meditation. The universe sends the information through. Boom, this is what I need you to drop out there. I'm like, all right, cool. All I can do is do my part. That's it, you know what I mean? And I tested the spirit. So what I did was, I have a lot of beings that come into my life that like to be silent, because I tell people up gate what I like, what I don't like. If you're a witchy witch, you're gonna take what I don't like and you're gonna put it to the forefront. If you're not a witchy witch, you're gonna do everything to work around to help me build my weak links and then to strengthen up my other areas. That's how it's supposed to work, you know what I'm saying? But these other entities, that's not how they operate, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I usually have to pay a little bit extra because I'm a very upfront person, you know what I'm saying? So that's just how I set up. And so what happened, right, was I know that the other entities feed off of us, right? So one way to test to see if they're feeding off us, and what I did was I got in the car. We was in the car about to ride as we're getting going, you know what I'm saying? I didn't turn no videos on, I didn't turn no music on. I rode to my other scenic location I like to go to. It's like 45 minutes from where I'm staying, you know what I'm saying? 40 minutes. So it's still almost about an hour, right? So as being in the car for a couple minutes, I knew that I wanted to be in my spirit realm, because I was just in the space working on some present things and some other things. So when I got in the car and taking my break from the house and space and stuff, I was like, I told the other being, I said, I'm in my spirit realm in the future. You are more than welcome to join me in this realm. But this is where I am focused at on the inside right now. There was no arguments, discussions, or anything else you could do to be witchy around that, right? Because most of the time, if you're sitting around people and they're silent, you know what I mean? They always have this weird witchy shit they can pull up. Oh, well, I felt that's coming from you, or you was doing this, or you said that, or this happened, and blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? But when you drop it on the table for them, hey, I'm in my spirit realm in the future. You may join me if you like. What that was saying is, hey, don't talk to me about no bullshit, because I'm not responding. Don't talk to me about the trees. Don't talk to me about the sky. Don't talk to me about what kind of Jordans you got. Don't talk to me about the basketball games. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk to me about what's happening at the plantation tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, the future, meaning building upward and forward. The beings around me already know the future with me pertains to my mini and the tribe. You know what I mean? So I'm serving others before I serve myself, and that kind of puts me in weird positions, but that's just through the matrix. If there was no matrix, then the universe would be extremely proud. I don't like using the proud. Would be extremely ecstatic for, you know, the ones of us who are out here standing as solid as we can, that are being able to be used as a vessel. You know what I mean? We rode the whole car ride in silence for almost an hour, because the being did not want to join my spirit realm in the future. Now, once we got to the location, I let it be known. Back to life, back to reality. So I was in my vibes, you know, just dancing and singing and just picking my spirit up, because we just rode for an hour and I was okay with it, right? But that's the kind of stuff that we have to do to let you know, like, all right, this person is really not for you. That's how you know. That's how you know. If somebody asked me or told me, like, hey, I'm in my spirit world, I am trying to figure out how to get this car, you know, I can join them if I like to. I already know a million things that I could discuss about cars, about where to find them, how to go about them. You know, it's just, my team allows me access to different information. It allows me to be able to respond with people when I'm engaging with them appropriately. Like, just a lot of things, you know what I mean? So to, like, for somebody to test the spirit and you tell them, hey, I'm in my spirit world, because you're basically saying, like, I'm not talking right now, I'm in my spirit world processing these thoughts. You may join me if you like to. That puts another spirit in your spirit realm focused on the same thing. But if they're an enemy, they will not join you. They will take that situation, that test, and use that as a fucking excuse. Oh, you told me to be quiet. Oh, you don't like when I'm talking. Oh, you don't like when I touch your car. Or you don't like when I touch your shoes, you know. Or you don't like when I touch your eyelashes. Like, it'll be something witchy when you know you are very, very clear in your communication. You know what I'm saying? And I knew, and I know, you know. So these are just some things that you have to do to test the spirit. Once you do these things and these beings show you that they're not willing to join your world, you don't have to tell them that they're an enemy. You just move accordingly. You know not to trust them to a certain degree. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of things that you will know that, all right, well, don't be too excited around this being, because this being is going to try to figure out a way to dim your light, to dim your joyfulness, to dim your excitement. You know what I mean? Like, one thing I did want to touch base on though, right? Which this may be off subject, but we in the Western world. And, you know, peace and love to anybody that don't want to catch this part, because this piece will probably be a little tricky for some, you know what I mean? I usually stay in the spiritual realm, but I just want to touch base on a little bit of this Western history and kind of put it all together and show you guys where I'm going, right? But much peace and love to everybody that's watched this long that don't tap into the rest of this right here, you know what I'm saying? This might come off a little biased to some, or a little weird or different to some, you know what I'm saying? But, alright, so check this out. We already know that is multiple cultures out here, right? And I'm just gonna say cultures, but for me, layman's terms for this part of the video, I'm gonna cut cultures down to colors, okay? I'm gonna be really simple. Everyone over here knows that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, okay? So, we know we got a lot of different color beings out here, right? And if you are in the fucking Western world, if you are a brown male, this color, lighter, darker, your choice preference, however you got here, you have to understand that if you are dealing with other beings who are of the white culture, I know white is not the skin, we're just using this for layman's terms, right? So let me give an example. Black man right here, We know we're not black. I'm just using this. Black man right here, building, growing, taking care of all his responsibilities that the system says he doesn't take care of. We all hear about nigga go to jail, nigga get locked up, nigga get shot, nigga selling drugs, nigga not taking care of his little ones. All of this shit over here, right? But then you run into some brown men, some black men who over here are doing all of these and above, and building and helping people around them as much as possible. They don't have all the financial shit in the world because most of us are starting from ground zero. But they are putting all of their energy and everything they have into it, right? And then all of a sudden, and not all of a sudden, we have this person, this being right here, the brown male, who's building responsibility. He's doing everything in his power, right? In this Western society where we know brown men are fucking hated. I already know the system hates me. You know what I'm saying? But spiritually, I know it's a war, so I'm not concerned with that. We know that we are getting shot, plucked off by police officers. All these things happening, how our life is on the fucking line every day. We wake up and leave this motherfucking house. So if you have any white women that chooses to come into your life, they should already understand on every fucking level how you are hated. They should be doing everything in their fucking power to show you and the universe that, hey, they not operating the way their ancestors was, and they are creating the shift. But when you got white women grabbing black men, it's like a movie Get Out. Don't nobody give a fuck about your emotions, white women, when you in that space, because we already been through a lot. So when we're in this space and we're building up and you're coming over here pulling down, you have to understand you are being the most disgusting witch that you can possibly be. Simple process. If any white woman is near a black man, brown man, he should be elevating to infinity and beyond. Because if not, y'all motherfuckers are being disgusted, and it's going to be a much worse place for every single one of y'all. And I could say the same thing for the black women dealing with the white men, but it's not as much that way. It's more so my size, the men, and the white women. You know what I mean? So being mindful of these things, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you have people who are doing more than the average being, you have to know that you are being a really disgusting, demonic witch to be pulling beings down and not putting all your best energy into picking them up and picking up whatever the fuck is around them. I get tired of hearing about all these disgusting white women fucking over brown men. Just don't reach. If a nigga reach, cut the shit off. Hey man, when you get to a better space, get your ass away from that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. I never thought, because I didn't know about the spiritual war, that the more I did righteously, the more disgusting shit I would have happened to me. We have to be aware of these things on all angles. Black and white culture is the only ones they try to combine together. We are not the fucking same. We all live together. That's cool. We can all vibrate and do that shit together. But when a white man gets with an Asian woman, he has to know her fucking culture. I don't give a fuck if he is leading or not. It's no different when you get with a Middle Eastern or somebody from Nigeria. We all understand those fucking cultures. But then when white and black get together, do they just act as if, oh yeah, this is how it goes? No, this white is separate from this black. Hey, we chosen. You know what I mean? We chosen. So, you know what I mean? I just wanted to put that out there, because if you are a white woman and you have a thing for brown men, you have to understand it is bigger than you, and you cannot be near any of us if you are not healed or working to help this whole thing be better. The whole thing. Because while these white women is running around crying about their emotions, you still got niggas like me and like us out here who are getting our heads knocked off by the fucking system, and who are standing strong against this fucking system. Because Come on now. My color, and being a male, you can ask anywhere in the world. We are the most hated. If you don't fucking comprehend that, you piece of shit, then you are just a fucking piece of shit. Simple process, man. I'm just tired of all this witchy shit and then us having to fight ourselves and not address these things the way they should be addressed. Like, it's very simple. If you have a fetish for something, you have to grow yourself out of that transition. You know what I'm saying? For me, I got involved with white women due to proximity. That's how most of us do it. That's how crime is a thing. Crime is by proximity. You don't see people that's right here and then they got to go all the way to 2 states every time they go rob somebody. No, they're hitting the stores beside them. They're hitting the homes beside them. You know what I'm saying? It's proximity. So I know a lot of people like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, proximity is what it is. We have to be aware of these things, you know. Proximity makes a big difference in a lot of things out here. So, you know what I mean? I ain't want to run it up too long, you know what I'm saying? You have to test the spirit, and you have to understand the cultural difference, and do not fuck with any of the men that look like me if you are of a different culture and you do not have our best interests at heart. And I could say the same for the motherfuckers that look like me, because I got a damn mama and she look like me. You know what I'm saying? Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.